You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
And here it is, the Super Bowl prop show.
This is the equivalent of a one-game betting spree like we do in the preseason. Our futures bet in the preseason.
Yeah.
This is almost the same thing. Let's predict the future right now.
There's and the prices aren't great, but one of my favorite things about prop betting is that it can keep your interest in an otherwise uninteresting game.
Yes, it's helped one year for sure. The Denver-Seattle Super Bowl. Fuck. That was the only thing that kept me watching that game.
Well, everybody I was with was bored as fuck. I'm like, oh, come on. I'm still yelling at the screen. So.
Yep. Oh, yeah, the people I watched it with were laughing at me. They had more fun watching me checking my phone and screaming at the TV in this third and fourth quarter.
Yeah. Like, these are
Don't
bets.
throw it to Demaryius Thomas. Don't throw it. Or to Julius Thomas. Don't throw it. He had 5. We had him under 5.5.
Yep. And I think he got 3 on close to the last drive. I think it was the drive that ended in the strip sack, which also nailed us the total sacks bet. Took possession
Yeah, which was
away.
weird that it was one sack, basically. It was half a sack.
Mm-hmm.
Was the total. Over, under, half a sack. It's like, what? How many games do you see that? Oh, sack. You need one sack. And we didn't have it until fucking like 4 minutes left or something.
I think Denver's last possession, essentially. And still one of my favorite gambling moments was when Pete Carroll benched Russell Wilson when he was about 5 yards under. We'd bet him the under on the total passing yards. He was about 5 yards under. Have a seat with about 6 minutes left in the game.
Yeah. Come in, Tavares Jackson. Thank you. And the last play that Wilson threw, no, we had completions, I think. Didn't we?
No, it was yards, and it was around 212 or so.
But the last play before he got benched was a third down pass that the guy dropped, hit him in the hands, and went incomplete. And I'm screaming about it. Run the ball! Run the ball!
Just grind this out.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
All right. Well, that said, what we're going to do is we're each going to propose possible props. We'll decide whether those get in the mix. We're going to bet $6 $5 props. Presuming we can find 6 that we agree on, but that's our goal.
Oh, there's not much to agree on props.
Yeah.
It's basically which ones we want.
Yeah.
I've got 8 written down.
Okay, and I have 9, so 9 and a deep alternate. So.
Well, if the odds are good enough, we might be taking the deep alternate. It sounds like a deep odds one. So
No, it's not. It's hard to track.
Okay.
All right, but well, for the last time this year, you know what time it is.
It's motherfucking game time!
That's right. It's motherfucking game time. My first proposal. This is a classic. We bet it every year, and I don't know that we've ever won it. The first score method. Either team. I like the field goal at plus 150.
Yes, I like that one too. That was one of mine I had down. So we might as well book that one.
Yep.
I like
no
that
point in
one.
waiting to book them all if we know.
Yeah.
Especially with two teams with pretty strong defenses.
Yeah. Didn't we hit this one last year?
I don't think we did.
But yeah, with with the Denver defense and Denver's offense not being a super powered unit, it seems like the way to go.
Yep.
All right, so we're betting $5 on the first score to be a field goal at plus 150. $5 returns $12.50.
All right.
Booked. Okay, now the first one I'm going to bring in is touchdown scorers. I like this one where you pick a player to score a touchdown at any time.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites. And we were talking last night about a player we thought was going to be big in this game. Emmanuel Sanders, I like, at plus 115. Because we both thought he'd have a big game.
Yeah. Now, for Sanders, I had over 72.5 yards, but your price is paying better. And that's not to say we couldn't do both if we decide.
Yeah. Because I had Sanders down for another bet, too.
Okay.
For total receptions.
That might be better than yards. But this is a guy we think will be able to exploit, a secondary that's quite weak after Josh Norman.
And Josh Norman will be on Demaryius Thomas, is our thinking. Now, there's some other ones. The other one that you brought up last night was Vernon Davis. And he's plus 425.
Oh, was he even listed? Okay. I
Yeah,
couldn't find him.
Yeah. He's plus 425. Now, if we wanted to do two on this one, I wouldn't be against that. We could even go higher than $30 if we find something like this that we like.
Yeah, that might be an add-on, because I actually have a TD scorer as well, and that's Mike Tolbert at plus 275.
Okay.
As an owner of Jonathan Stewart in fantasy, inside the 5, Tolbert gets the bulk of the action. And it's not just rushing. Like, they'll run those little swings. If they get tight, I don't hate the idea that the entire defense is going to be keying on Newton. You bring in Tolbert, who's a blocking back as well, and then you just spread him out. Like, I think he might score a TD. I think it might be a passing TD. Or receiving TD, rather.
The only problem I have is I know Cam Newton from college. In the big game, in the national championship game, he changed the call from a running play to his own number for the winning touchdown. Cam likes the spotlight.
That is a little disturbing.
When Auburn won the national title, he changed the play call at the line with, in the last 2 minutes. It was a game-winning drive. They scored a touchdown, and he changed it to a quarterback sneak from a running play.
Okay.
So that's my only concern with Tolbert getting a touchdown.
Okay. Well, how about right now? Do you have any other players you want to score a touchdown than the 3 we've talked about?
No.
Why don't we put that there?
I was looking at some of the defensive guys. The only other one I had an inkling on was Kuechly. He scored a touchdown in both of their playoff games.
What's that paying, though?
Plus 1,400.
Yikes. Okay. Well, to be honest, and I kind of mentioned this before the podcast, let's get some, even if we're not getting the big prices.
Yeah, winners.
Yeah, that's what I mean, our best year on prop bets was Denver-Seattle. And a lot of those were just negative 110, plus 110, those kind of bets, right? So I'm definitely going to keep it in mind, because I looked at a defensive or special teams TD for either team, and it was only paying plus 165, which I did not think was nearly enough of a price to entice me to that.
See, that's one I had on my list. I'll scratch that off.
Well, no, I could be argued into that one because I looked, but then I just thought that's like saying that.
My only thinking is Denver's defense should have scored a touchdown against New England. If Von Miller doesn't slip on the turf, it's a touchdown. And Ted Ginn. I was thinking more on the Carolina side for a return
a special
TD.
Teamer, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to that one. Let's try to keep formatting. I'm sorry, I'm the one who broke it. So, all right. So I put down 3 individuals. We'll take a look at those a little later in the podcast.
Okay.
All right. One I don't mind at all is total rush attempts for Anderson, over 13.5.
That's not bad.
This fits what we were talking about, that Denver will keep running the ball. Even if they're splitting a bit with Hillman and Anderson, 13.5 is, under 4 carries a quarter.
Where is that on here? Rush attempt yards. Player total rush attempts. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Now, okay, can I say this? Ronnie Hillman at 11.5. Again, the New England game, Denver rushed it between those two 31 times. Hillman had 15, Anderson had 16. It's basically a split. And we're getting a much better number on Hillman.
Are we? Okay. I can
plus 110 for 11.5.
Okay.
See, every prop bet that I looked at, and I mentioned this to you before the podcast, is swung heavily in favor of Carolina.
Yes.
They're basing this on Denver being behind a lot. Like, they're basically saying with this number, between the two of them, 25, which would put Denver behind.
Yeah, like, I tend to think of Hillman as a pass-catching back, but 15 carries against New England and just the steady diet of run. And what did you say, plus 110?
Yeah, for 11.5.
All right, let's take that, and we'll put Anderson aside.
Okay. So we got Hillman. More rush attempts than 11.5, plus 110. $5 pays $10.50.
Okay.
I'm writing this down so I keep track. This will be my sheet. For when I'm watching the game instead of printing it out.
Yeah, I'm getting them all written down too, so I'll send you a summary.
Well, yeah, no, this is just for my... Okay. So, my next one I want to bring in is a winning margin bet. You and I both think it's going to be a tight game. According to our podcast yesterday. What I was thinking of doing this as kind of a hedge, because we took Denver to win outright on our money line bet.
And we have either side within 5 on our try
right.
bet.
Well, the winning margin, 1 to 6 points for Carolina, is plus 300. That was where I was looking. See, and that's where all our other bets go. This gives us a little better line or odds.
But we're piling a lot onto a close game with that. That's sort of my only... And we've kind of got a close game covered two ways with our bets yesterday.
Right, but this gives us a little better number. Unless you want to go do we want to take Carolina with a bigger win? Everybody thinks it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, like is there just a 6+ option for Carolina? I guess that would be betting Carolina. Duh.
Yeah, it's 7 to 12 Carolina is plus 400. 13 to 18 is plus 550.
I would rather take that 7 to 12, did you say?
Yeah.
At plus 400?
Okay. Well, we'll keep that in the mix.
Okay.
And see what we come up with the rest of the way.
Okay. All right. Kind of referring to what we went back to, and the price isn't great on this one, but I think it will happen. Demaryius Thomas under 68.5 yards is negative 130. And I really like the chance of that happening.
Okay, I'm not... I don't think I'm against that one.
Price isn't great, but it feels very probable to me. Josh Norman has been shutting down everybody. I don't think there's another receiver that they're ever going to rotate him over to. He can't play Sanders because he doesn't play the slot. I don't see them putting him on either tight end. And Demaryius Thomas has had an awful lot of trouble hanging on to the damn ball lately.
Yeah.
And we've watched Peyton enough. When guys are dropping balls repeatedly, they often are shunned.
What about the Ted Ginn over 48.5? He catches one ball. So it could be over.
Yeah, I considered that too. I like the Thomas more, the under.
Okay. I don't mind that. We'll keep that in the mix.
Okay. I'll mark that.
There's not a whole lot to argue in the prop bets, really. I don't you could throw up any prop. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, but I mean, I did at least back it with a concept here.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just saying, I'm not, I agree with it, that Thomas has been playing like shit, and that Norman's going to be covering him.
And Thomas works best on deeper routes, which we're not certain Peyton can throw anymore. Even his 30-yarders were both to Sanders, weren't? No, one was to Sanders and one was to a tight end.
Who, Daniels? No.
No, it was it Tammy? Is he still there?
No. The only tight ends I know of is Davis and...
I'm thinking the Pittsburgh game, that crossing route, which we agreed was the best pass we saw Peyton throw all year.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think that was to Demaryius Thomas.
No, that was to Jordan Norwood or something. The other wide receiver.
Right. Yeah, Norwood. Anyway, I like that one. We'll keep it in the mix.
For as much, I'm just looking at these numbers now because I didn't have it on my list. they don't have much respect for any of these receivers.
Nope.
And I don't know why they were thinking this game was going to be a blowout, one way or the other. Like, all the other bets are like, oh, yeah, Denver's going to be behind based on, like, rush attempts and all that stuff.
Well, and even
and these numbers...
Even Newton scoring 2 TDs or more is like plus 700, which I don't really want to go near, but...
No, because that means he's got to rush for 2. But after telling you what I told you about calling his own number...
Yeah.
Like, and here's where... And I didn't bring this up in the last night's podcast because it didn't really come to me till now. Carolina could get in trouble with Cam trying to do too much, because in my opinion he likes the stage, and if he has a like a bust out performance like everybody's thinking he's going to do, he stands to make a lot of fucking money here, because he's going to be the poster child for the NFL if he fucking wins the Super Bowl.
Well, I think it's turned a bit recently. But usually quarterbacks in their first Super Bowl versus quarterbacks who'd been there before struggle. I mean, Russell Wilson changed that a bit.
But that game was so far out of hand that it didn't matter.
Well, again, I'm still thinking it was under 212. It wasn't that Russell Wilson really changed the game. The defense just... I mean...
No, he made what I remember of him is he made a couple of nice throws around the goal line.
Oh,
his big...
He contributed. He wasn't a detriment.
No, I'm not saying, but it wasn't like he did 12-play drives where he threw it 8 times. It was, okay, he made that nice pass to Curse on that crossing route at the end zone in tight coverage. It was plays like that.
Yeah.
But, okay, well, that one's in the mix, because I kind of like that one too. Okay. Now, the next one I wanted to bring in was total pass completions. Was that the one I wanted? Or was it attempts? Oh, yeah, total pass completions for the 2. I was thinking under 40.5 is plus 110.
Okay.
Manning was completing like 17 and 22 his last 2 games. They throw the ball like on average about 33 times a game.
I don't mind this.
The last 2 games. And I'm thinking with Denver's defense, Cam's going to have trouble completing 25 passes with that receiving core and the Denver defense.
I don't mind this one at all. I'm writing it down.
Okay. In the mix.
What's that, Pay?
Plus 110.
Okay. All right.
See, and again, these numbers are all based on somebody being behind big, where they're having to throw the ball. Which, if you see our pattern here, most of this is based on Denver. Because every bet is skewed towards Carolina. To me. Is it just me, or does that not seem how it is?
But
like
then when we look at the other
attempt,
side, it seems like a blowout, but how do they get there? I'm not sure what their vision is.
Well, no, but they've got Denver's rushing attempts low for Hillman and Anderson. They've got the over-under for completions as a plus 110 under. So they're saying it's going to go, the over 40.5 is minus 150. So they're thinking Denver's going to be throwing the ball a lot.
And completing it, which is by no means a certainty.
No.
They must be thinking Denver just chucks and ducks near the end. But no, I don't mind that bet at all. Well, we can probably already dig together 6, but let's go through a few of our others here.
We'll keep going because we might sign something else we like.
Now, this one's a little more of a money payer stretch bet, but a successful 2-point conversion, either team, is plus 333.
See, I don't mind that. I was looking at that one and I didn't go there, but I don't mind that one.
No, with what we're talking about, missed kicks or missed extra points, we think a tight game where the 2-point becomes, more likely. I mean, this sort of fits into our vision, which, I mean, I know predicting gameplay is crazy, but so is gambling. I mean, the best way to not lose at gambling is to not bet.
Yeah.
And we choose not to go with that strategy. But the price isn't too bad. It seems like more than a third of the games I watched this year had a 2-point conversion. Maybe that's...
Yeah. And
or at least an attempt.
And these extra points aren't a given anymore. This isn't like 2 years ago, this would have been probably about plus 800 for a 2-point conversion.
Yes.
Because you had no reason to try and gain that point back.
But I still think at 333, it's not terrible.
No, I like it. I'm not arguing against it. I'm just saying it would have been plus 800 because you didn't have to do it before. You were never in the games. You never had a chance to get to where it even came into play, really. So, because there was never any 2-point deficits like there is now.
Yeah. Or not as many,
Yeah. So, all right. Did we do the player total receptions? Or no, we did the other one with Sanders.
Yeah, we looked at that with Sanders.
No, that was TD scorer was Sanders.
Right, and I'm a big proponent of the Demaryius Thomas under 68.5, even though the price stinks.
The player total receptions I wanted to bring in was Sanders. It's 5.5. I think he does that in the first half.
I like that.
Okay, where was it? That's score props, team props. Fuck, I wish these things were easier to look at.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I was even theoretically running through how they would organize them differently. It's hard because there's so many options, right?
Yeah. So yeah, player total receptions. They have Thomas at 5.5. See, this doesn't make any sense. Over 5.5 for Demaryius Thomas, who they think is going to get under 68.5 yards. They got it at over 5.5 is minus 125. And Sanders is minus 110 for the same. Sanders is Manning's security blanket.
Yeah.
That's his go-to guy now. I don't understand it. I guess the public bets more on because Demaryius Thomas is the bigger name.
Yeah.
Like in another one I don't mind terribly is Owen Daniels. Over 2.5 receptions is plus 100.
I don't like that at all. I think that he's going to be a bit of a focus, and there have been games when he's been beyond invisible. Trust me, I picked him up against the fucking Raiders in fantasy.
Okay, then what about your C.J. Anderson theory?
He's not a great pass catcher.
No, but you know what the number is? You know what the number is?
0.5?
1.5. 1.5 is plus 145. He has to catch 2 balls, 2 screen passes in the whole fucking game. I actually like that better than Sanders, now that I'm looking at it. Fuck, dude, if we're going to stretch on props, I would bet both of these. To be honest.
Okay.
Here, let me look. I'm just going to pull up the score from that Patriots game and the Steelers game and see what they had. See what Anderson had in those games.
Okay, well, you're looking it up. I'm going to bring up my last one, which is unrelated, and we can go back. I have the first TD is on or after the 8-minute mark at -110.
Okay, so basically nobody scores a touchdown until there's 7 minutes or 7:59 or less left in the first quarter.
6:59.
8 minutes. Okay, right. Yes. Sorry.
It's a basic 10% vigorish bet. Both defenses fairly solid. I like it. 8 minutes. And how much have we seen where, at the end of the first quarter, the score is 6-0, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's a tension in the game.
Yes. I mean, turnovers will change all that, but, at some point we've kind of taken a stand on what we envision from this game.
Yeah. We have. Okay, so for C.J. Anderson had 3 receptions against the Patriots.
And that's what we need.
Yeah. And you know why the Emmanuel Sanders is at 5.5? The last 2 games, he's had 5 catches per game. And Anderson had 2 catches against Pittsburgh. And he's 1.5.
Oh, he's 1.5, not 2.5. Huh?
Yeah, 1.5.
Okay.
And I think Denver might run it. If Peyton's getting pressure, they might have tried to incorporate a few more screen passes into their game plan this week. Just to kind of keep the pressure off, keep them honest, to mix in with the running game.
Yeah. No, this isn't bad at all. All right.
I like that one better than Sanders now, looking at the numbers.
Okay.
And like I said, we could bet both. I wouldn't be against betting both because we both think Sanders is going to have a big game. So, and I don't mind your first touchdown after the 8-minute mark. Can we spend $50 on prop bets?
Yeah, we certainly can. Okay, do you have anything else left on your sheet?
Total sacks.
Okay.
I wanted to go under 5.5.
Okay, I thought you were going to want to go over, and I wasn't so excited about it.
No, I want to go under.
Yeah, okay. I'm much more open to under on that.
Well, I don't think Denver's game plan is going to be to try and sack Cam Newton.
No.
I think it's going to be to keep him in the pocket.
And or if he gets 2 yards, that's fine, right? They want to control him from taking those 13-yard gains.
Yes.
And so, getting him behind the line of scrimmage, that's why I didn't want the over. Is I just thought, then we're wondering, is he 6 inches past the line, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Total sacks under. Like, it will still be worrying, but I think he's going to get to the line of scrimmage a lot, but Denver would consider that a victory.
Yeah,
if they can
think they
hold
just try
him
and
for
keep
no
him contained.
Yes. What does that
Just
pay?
contain him. Let me go back to that. Team props. Isn't it in? Oh, where the fuck is it? I thought I had it, and I don't.
It's in the first section of props.
Oh, there it is. Total sacks. Okay. Under is minus 150. Ugh. Okay,
Yeah.
Scratch that.
Yeah, I thought the price would be a little better.
Yeah.
Particularly with the talks of, Denver's defense.
Let's see which. Okay. So I had completions. I also had player total pass attempts. I wanted Manning under 36.5, but we've got enough to go through.
Yeah, I mean, and if we were going to go total pass attempts, I'd prefer Newton over 32.5, but not in love with it either. That's why it didn't make my cut of what I brought up.
Okay, scratched. That was the only other one I had.
Okay, let me try to summarize this. We've
got 18 in the mix.
Well, I'm going to start with what we know. We have made 2 bets already. We have the first score to be a field goal. We have bet 5 that pays $12.50. So we are betting that at plus 150. And we have bet Hillman over 11.5 carries at plus 110, 5 plays $10.50. Now, the biggest payout we've got on anything right here is a successful 2-point conversion at plus 333. Do we want to get that one in as our silly bet? Oh, no, we've got a variety of players to score touchdowns.
Yes.
Sanders, I think he's going to be effective. I don't know about the TDs. And that price at plus 115 seems slim.
Yeah, but that was one we were thinking, let's take more of a sure thing.
Yeah.
Than Tolbert, like just to get the wins, not worry. If we're going to stretch on one, what was the other one we had?
We had Vernon Davis, Tolbert, and Sanders.
No, another bet. Bet.
Okay.
We had another bet with some higher odds.
Oh, we also had Carolina 7-12 at plus 400. It's almost a hedge, and if it's a blowout, we're screwed.
And I don't see it a blowout, though. But we got to. The reason I was thinking that after you said, well, we got everything tied in already to a low scoring or to a tight game. Mm-hmm. That gives us some leeway on the other side of that. Like if Carolina wins by a touchdown.
Okay.
But.
Okay, what else we have in the mix here? The successful 2 points. We have Demaryius Thomas under 68.5 at negative 130.
Yeah, we both like that one.
I really like that bet. Let's book that one.
Okay. Okay. Total receiving yards. Okay, so we're taking Demaryius Thomas under 68.5 yards receiving. $5 pays $8.84. Booked.
Now we also had Sanders over 5.5 receptions.
I'm rethinking that, looking at what he had, but we think he's going to have a bigger game this time. You can't base it all on that. What about the fucking C.J. Anderson over 1.5 instead of the Sanders? It's a better price. But we could bet both of those. I like both of those, to be honest. For receptions.
Okay.
C.J. Anderson over total passing yards. Where the fuck is it? Total pass completions. Total receptions. There we go. Yeah, C.J. Anderson over 1.5 is plus 145.
Okay, let's bet that.
Oh no, that's under. Fuck. I was looking at the wrong line. Okay, We're going Sanders. It's plus minus 190 over 1.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
So a lot of people saw what you did. It was a good call. Just the price.
Well, no, I was reading the wrong. I was reading the wrong line.
Okay, so let's go Sanders then.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so we're going Emmanuel Sanders over 5.5 catches. $5 pays $9.54. Booked. Where the fuck did I have that?
So we've kind of got Sanders now.
Yeah.
So let's take him out of the scoring TD.
Okay.
Now, do we want to take a flyer on Tolbert or Vernon Davis? The Vernon Davis, the more I think about it, is insanity.
Yeah, he didn't even catch a ball against fucking New England, I don't think.
Yeah, he wasn't on the field much. It's the secret weapon argument, and I mentioned the last time I brought that up, it failed horribly. So let's stroke that. Do we like Tolbert, or what's Ginn playing to get a TD?
Anytime is plus 140. Let's see, I put touchdown scores, but it's by time. That one was by time. Team touchdown scores. Well, what the fuck? Oh yeah, that was what you had to bet anytime. It gives you first, last, and anytime.
Yeah.
Plus 140. Who else we got here? See, the problem is with Carolina is Newton doesn't throw. He doesn't just throw to one guy in the red zone.
No, but Ginn never scores in the red zone.
No, but I'm thinking like Cotchery could get one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we think it should be like Olsen, but they're in the red zone. Denver's gonna double Olsen.
Yeah, and when that happens, Olsen still usually gets his 70 to 120 yards, but he often goes without touchdowns when he becomes the focus. Do we want to not bet TD people, or?
Well, I'm looking at the Keekly for $5 plus 1,400. Nah, let's skip it.
Okay. Well, then, why don't we take that Carolina 7-12 at plus 400?
Okay. All right. So we're going to take, which is a bit of a hedge. And see, we got to leave ourselves some money to bet at halftime, too.
This is true.
We'll have to talk at halftime and see where we're at. If our bets are getting blown out of the water and the game's not going how we thought, we might have to try and chase some cash.
Yeah, that always works out for us. But no, I hear you.
No, you got to keep it interesting.
Oh yeah,
second half.
That's the vital part. Okay.
So that's why I like the receiving bets for total receptions, because that's something that carries on all game, even if it's a blowout. What other ones do we have? Okay, so we got the Demaryius Thomas under 68.5. That carries on the whole game. Ronnie Hillman over, 11.5. Rushing attempts carries on, keeps us involved in the whole game. The winning margin bet keeps us involved the whole game, and the Sanders over 5.5 keeps us in the whole game. So that's what I like.
Yeah.
Is where I have to watch the whole game to see if it pays out.
Well, and then I am going to suggest we'll have a second bet, which will be resolved in the first quarter, get us into the flow. I think the first TD after 8 minutes isn't terrible.
No, I like that too. So we're going to bet $5. Carolina wins by 7-12. That keeps us in for the shitty backdoor cover.
Yeah, watch them win by 6 and fuck us every which way.
Well, no, oh yeah, yeah, wouldn't that fuck you? All right, so $5. Carolina by 7-12 points pays 25. Booked. So we've got one more, and where's that under?
Scoring.
Is it the race to points?
No, it's not a race to points. It's just scoring props. And then I think there's a timing category.
First score, time, and first score. Okay.
First TD. Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't the TD. It was just first score was under or over 6 minutes.
Yeah, we've got the field goal, so we aren't cutting ourselves here. We're just thinking the first quarter is a little slow points-wise.
Is that under Scorecast?
No.
No? Where the fuck is it? Because that was 6 minutes.
That was for first score. That involves TD or safety?
No, it says time of first score. Score on or after 6 minutes elapsed. Score before 6 minutes elapsed is minus 120.
There's a TD version. Sorry, I'm just...
Oh, there it is. Time of first touchdown. Okay. On or after 8. Okay. Okay, score. A touchdown scored on or after 8 minutes elapsed. So anything scored after 7 minutes left in the first quarter, we win. $5 pays $9.54.
All right.
So what do we got? We got the... Okay, you're going to recap.
Yeah,
what am I missing here?
Okay.
I only got 5 tips, but we made 6 bets.
Okay. Well then. For early game bets, we have the first TD on or after 8 minutes elapsed. We have... That is a $5 bet, pays $9.54. We have the first score by either team being a field goal. We have $5, pays $12.50. So that is plus $1.50. We have Hillman over 11.5 carries at plus $1.10. $5 pays $10.50. We have Demaryius Thomas under 68.5 receiving yards at minus 130. $5 pays $8.84. We have Emmanuel Sanders over 5.5 receptions. $5 pays $9.54. And we have Carolina winning by a margin of 7 to 12 points. $5 pays $25.
See, I like what we've done here. Didn't set out to do it this way, but we've kind of hedged our bet a little bit on this if we lose the game score.
Yeah. Yep.
Because first and foremost, I want to win our main bet. I want to be right on Denver on the money line within 6 points. I want to be right there. This other stuff kind of protects us. Like, because if Demaryius Thomas has a big game, they're going to win the game. Denver will win the game if he has a big game.
Yeah.
So I would give a fuck losing that $5. That would actually help us if he doesn't. We're kind of, and we didn't set out to do it, but we ended up kind of hedging here. Yeah. Which I don't mind.
No, I don't mind these bets at all. And as you said, it's props. You can't make a super strong argument about anything because this is truly predicting the future on an individual level versus, you know a good team is a good team, but to know exactly how the individuals will do. This is fantasy in a little bit. Yeah,
it keeps the games more fun, especially the Super Bowl. But they've been fantastic games the last decade, pretty much, outside of the Denver-Seattle game.
And that was fantastic for us.
Yeah, we cleaned up on that one. You got anything else you want to bring up?
No,
except this is our last regular podcast of the year.
I do think we'll probably be laying a couple of wagers as the games go on. So, tweet them, I guess.
Follow our Twitters. Yeah, follow our Twitter. I'll tweet out if I'm sober enough to make the tweets. We'll tweet any bets we make at halftime. We'll tweet out. If all our bets are still live, or most of our player, I can't see us making anything. Really?
Yeah.
Unless we're getting fucking home. Unless Thomas has got 80 yards in the first half, and the scoring method's going to be out the window. We'll have an idea on Hillman. The scoring one will be over 8 minutes in, one way or the other, or sooner. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll probably, I'm almost certain for myself, I'm going to bet the halftime line at the end of the first half. So I'll tweet that out, too.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but there's a ton of shit yet to be decided.
Fair enough.
It's the last football we can bet on for fucking 6 months. So I'm sure I'll be doing something at halftime. All right. If you want to check out our podcast, listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device, on our website, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter at Offensive Lines for any updates to our blog posts or when a new podcast is available. Our personal Twitter accounts at OLinesMarlon or at OLinesBoyd. Facebook.com/Offensive Lines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon. And enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody. Gambling makes it better.
Degenerate fucking gambling.